Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. Give y'all some time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. First things first, I already know, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's keeping themselves cool and hydrated. I know in some areas it's definitely still humid and sticky. Some is humid and dry. But again, if you out and about, whether you working or not, if you out and about, make sure you are, keeping yourself hydrated, keeping yourself safe. Hood, what's going on, my guy? And just making sure that you good money, especially, you know, it's about to be a holiday weekend for a lot of y'all. So for those who might have plans, whether it's cookouts, family events, or whatever, again, just make sure you are prepared for the heat. Make sure that you are staying intact with certain things. Make sure your health is on point, you know, and just make sure you enjoy yourselves to the fullest. You know, worst thing is being in the hospital during a quote unquote holiday weekend. So just make sure you straight. Make sure you drinking enough fluids. Make sure you eating properly, and just keep yourself on point with your situational awareness. Make sure that wherever you at, you know, paying attention to your surroundings, like I've always said. Appreciate everybody that tuned in yesterday for the conversation. Definitely was one that was needed, and still going to reiterate on that at some point. Uh, for those that missed it, you definitely catch the replay. I'm gonna drop the link after a while. Um, Basically, everything gonna be open. Everything gonna be open for discussion. Um, Getting back to what I was saying yesterday, though, uh, about passing the buck, and it's the truth. You know, at some point, we just gotta look at certain things for what it is, and again, stop playing the blame game. Stop playing the victim game. Like I said, in order for us to strive better and be better, we got to get that victim mentality away from us. Because we ain't victims. We strong-minded people. Shoot, we created a nation. We created a nation by using our intelligence, but also, just having vast knowledge of how things should be done, how things should be structured. And we did pretty good, you know. Before my mouth go left, my bad. And if y'all do hear some water, it's time for me to fill up this coffee pot. Trying to make me some iced coffee, y'all. But yeah, um, like I said, we managed to build, civilizations and build communities just by sheer knowledge and sheer determination. You know, we were not going to be deterred or stopped from trying to make something better, and do something better. And I think that's what we're missing in this day and age now. Again, the confidence level. Confidence level is not where it should be. You know, it seems like, you know, the minute something doesn't go right, we quick to blame everybody else for why it's not going right. But again, we got to look at ourselves. You know, even good leaders, when things are going right or they think things are going right, they still got to reevaluate and make sure everything is, proper protocol. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the best thing you can do. You know, reevaluate certain things, and then from there, you keep moving forward. But When you're sitting here blaming people for your downfalls and mishaps, you're not learning nothing. You're not learning responsibility. You're not learning anything about accountability. You know, and that's what I'm saying. You know, we could still possibly change and make changes for the future. But again, you know, we got to get that victim mentality and that um, blame and shame from from out of our existence. You know, because again, what's the difference between back in the day and now? Back in the day, you know, we didn't allow too much to stop us, especially when we was determined on making things work. You know, we didn't blame nobody else when certain things didn't work. We just took the accountability. Okay, this didn't work. I wonder why it didn't work. And then we, you know, reevaluated everything. And once we see where certain things went wrong, okay, now it's time for us to plan, execute, and attack the situation the way we're supposed to. So this way we could get a better result. That's just like you trying to construct a building. You got to make sure that you got all the proper tools necessary for the foundation and the concrete. And you got to also make sure that, again, you know, there's no mishaps because you could be in the middle of building something. And if you use the wrong tools or if you use the wrong form or whatever, you could possibly mess up the building or you could possibly mess up before you even fully start building or before the building is fully constructed. You could end up messing up something where you got to go back and fix it, or you might have to just redo it all over again and knock you down. And that's money being spent, you know? That's money being spent. That's more headaches and hassles that you don't need, you know? So again, we gotta, you know, like I said, we gotta come together and we gotta build better, you know? Like I said, we not always gonna have to depend on outside help just to get things rolling. You know, it's just again, it's about you know dedication and leadership, but it's also about people just you know sticking together. The whole purpose of unity, you know, is it's important. You know, because again, you want to show the blueprint for the younger generation coming up. Well, how did they manage to do this with little resources or with little knowledge on how to whatever? Hey, like I said, for some people, it don't take much for them to make something work, you know. And sometimes some people don't need a whole bunch of different, you know, they don't need a bunch of different tools and necessities just to make it work. Some people just are great with working with what they got. That's just like with some people that's on a budget, prime example. That's one reason why they on a budget because they managing their money the right way, making sure they don't overspend nor underspend. But again, they also can survive longer than some people because they don't need much. You know, the bare necessities. Angela, baby, you know, the bare necessities. That's all you really need sometimes. And you could go from zero to 1,000, you know, and in a good way. All right, well, I didn't have this much knowledge on computers, right? But I got knowledge in every other situation that I could be on. I'm still being active. I'm still moving the goalpost forward. So again, it's working with what you know and working with what you got. You know, this is why I said it's important to try to teach the younger ones that do want to learn, the ones who are eager to learn, teach them the blueprints. You know, teach them how to survive. Teach them how to do the things that is going to be necessary for life. East Dad, what's going on, my guy? Like yesterday's conversation was definitely one of them that we needed. Like yesterday was just a clear understanding on why we shouldn't play victim, why we can't keep passing the buck. Because it's like I said, yes, we know that government is responsible for some of the things that are happening in our communities. We know that. But in the same token, we ain't no better because we not doing nothing to stop it. We not doing nothing to combat the problem. All we doing is destroying each other. You know, it's just like I was saying yesterday. Like, come on, how you expect your neighborhoods not to be drug infested when again you might be part of that destruction? Either you or somebody in your family is being a part of that destruction by still selling poison to your community. If you can sell somebody mother drugs, guess what? You are a part of that destruction. And you can't cry down the road about, oh, why we couldn't do this or why we couldn't just get together or why did this have to happen? Because you was a part of that decision. Auntie mama baby. You know, I think that's important again, that getting rid of that victim mentality. Because how long we gonna play victim before we decide to rise up in our knowledge and just do what's necessary for the betterment of the future? You know, and yesterday's conversation was definitely one that needed to be tackled. And I said I was gonna kind of reiterate on that. And I meant it, like prime example. If your schools have inadequate books, you know, they don't have the most up to date systems as far as their computers and stuff. Whose fault is that? It's not just the government's fault. It's not the school's fault. Some of that is, you know, the parents and the teachers. The parents and the teachers are supposed to be the ones coming together and, you know, making sure that they are not just coming for the parent teacher night, but making sure that they stand ground and stand firm for the kids. Because remember, the kids are the ones that are there learning. So if they don't have adequate things, you can't fully just blame the government. No, you got to blame the school system as well too, because they should have been fighting together to get these things correct. You know, prime example: if your children's school don't have adequate security measures and things like that, you're supposed to implement those. You're supposed to learn those. If you don't have a basic course of plan, prime example of how to exit a building in case there's a bomb threat or fire, something along those lines. Yeah, they still do fire drills, but that's it. It may be upgraded and they doing the bomb threats now, like the practices, but there's still other things you got to worry about on how to get out of a building just in case if there's some form of danger. It could be a natural disaster going on. You know, again, you got to just think about these things. You know, you can't blame nobody when you're not trying to be a part of the fight. It's almost like again with your communities. You know, there's certain programs and aspects missing, but you quick to throw shade at the politicians. Okay, but guess what? Some of y'all should know that some of these politicians ain't gonna be for the people. They ain't gonna never be for the people. Now you elect the right people who will actually stand on things, then you know, and actually work with those people as well too. You can start getting something better. You know. Oh no, yeah, I'm gonna get to that later. But you know, just but no, I'm just speaking in general, man. You know, like I said, if your kids are unaware of how to deal with certain situations when they could be in school, whose fault is that? You know, that's what I'm saying. Some people are always going to try to pass the buck on to somebody else because they refuse to take accountability and responsibility. But to the degree that will be your downfall, you know. You know, like I said, you just gotta set the bar a little bit higher. My bad, y'all. I hate them bikes. But nah, you know, you just gotta set the bar high. You know, you gotta make sure that you are standing on point with what you need to stand on point with. You know, And essentially, like what you just said, he's that is true. That's just like if you got kids running around here all badass, whose fault is that? Parents can't blame nobody when their kids out here doing the utmost. No, you gotta hold yourself responsible and accountable because those are your kids, nobody else's. And even if some people are trying to help your kids out in the right fashion, if you one of those parents, I don't tell my child this, you can't tell my child this. Your child will always think that nobody can correct them and nobody could check them. But guess what? At some point, that will be their downfall as well too. Because if I'm trying to tell you something or if I'm trying to teach you something for your own good and you refuse to pay attention to it, then guess what? You gonna end up taking the loss from this little said and done. But Files, what's going on? What's going on? You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like some people right now refuse to take accountability for their kids' actions. But remember, these are your kids. They're your responsibility. And you have to take accountability when they out here messing up. You know, that's what I'm saying. We have to think about that. You know, when they doing stuff like that, whose fault is that? You know, I can remember a day if the kids was out here being a menace to society. Guess what? The kids was being held accountable just like the parents was. That's not happening no more. It's all, you know, when it's all said and done, is, you know, play the victim or, oh, let me just pass the buck on. Oh, it's not my fault my kids out here doing this, so whose fault is it? You the one that's allowing them outside. You the one that's allowing them to be disrespectful, say whatever, do whatever with no consequence or recourse. So whose fault is that? And it ain't nobody else's fault. You can't blame society. You can't blame people in society. No, you would have to be accountable because you are their first teachers more than anything. When they come out the womb, they are up under you. When they come up, they are coming up under you. So what they learn from you is what they gonna bring out into the world. It's just like if they raised up in a house full of violence and drug use, what you think gonna happen? The cycle will be repeated. You know, and you can't blame nobody when it's all said and done but yourselves. You know, because again, you could have done better. You know, that's why I'm saying we gotta just get back to that notion of thinking. You know, that's what I'm saying. Accountability was held all around the board. You know, like how with some situations, if one mess up, everybody got to hear it or everybody got to get it. You know, for some, it was just like, well, damn, why I got to get in trouble and I didn't do nothing. But hey, remember, it's almost like a team. That's just like a team sport. Prime example. If one person mess up, everybody got to do something. That's how that works. You know? Everybody was self accountable. See, prime example, you had some who, if they brothers or their sisters messed up and they was getting disciplined, guess what? The only reason why some of the other ones was getting disciplined was because they was either laughing at the situation or because they didn't let the parents know what was what. You knew your brother was out here doing this and you didn't say nothing, come here. That's how it was. But again, that's how it was supposed to be. Everybody has to learn something. You know, when one mess up, this just goes to show that everybody could be put in the same category, the same boat. But that was also a way of straightening out the kids the way you're supposed to. See, like I said back in the day, you know, we had a different approach and a different communicative system within the community. Even if the parents were unaware of certain things, but you had you had neighbors that cared. You had people who was carefully watching things and also playing inside private eye. You wasn't getting away with but so much. And then when you did get caught, when you did get wrapped up, yeah, you had to suffer the consequences. You know, community was a village. This is how things was. Staying above ground, basically. Yeah, we had some slips through the cracks, but that's like that in almost every generation. You're gonna get those who already slipped through the cracks because this is what it is. You know, it just was meant or it was already written for it to be that way. So there was only so much you could do, but everything else up under the sun, no. You had people who cared because you had those who, whether they had kids or not, whether they was guardians to somebody or not, they just understood the mission. The mission was making sure that the young ones don't fail, but also making sure that the adults get held accountable, especially if the adults wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing. You know, that's just like right now, like I was saying with the passing the buck and passing the blame. How long we gonna keep blaming government and everything else for the demise and downfall of our communities? We have people who could actually help. We do have people within our communities that are actually doing their best to try to preserve and protect and just trying to change the outlook on things. But when you have people who don't care about nothing, who ain't trying to care about nothing, this is the results you're going to get. Like in certain scenarios, prime example, I was reading up on something and it was saying how, they could have had more stores, they could have had more, programs going on, but the big timers, the ones with the money, didn't want to see that happen. You know. So my thing is, prime example. Yes, you could blame them in the source, but then again, you gotta also blame yourself because why not stand up against the machine, basically? If they're the reasons why nothing is being done, then why not get them up out of the high positions that they in? So this way you can make something happen. You know. That's why I said it's important to learn certain things when you can learn them, and then once you have mastered what you learned, you put it to good use, and that's the most important thing, like I said, in some of these scenarios and some of these cities, the reason why they don't have all the resources that they should have is because again, when you are not trying to see any form of progress and growth because it could possibly um, affect what you're doing or affect your agenda, what you think gonna happen? But again, if the people ain't standing up for nothing, this is gonna continue to happen. It's gonna continue to happen because again, you're not showing no form of strength and backbone. You know, yes, there are things that we know need to be changed. We know there's things that could possibly be changed. But then we know there's some things that the way it's established, you know, is never going to change. But, you got to focus on one thing at a time. Focus on the most important shit, you know. But this passing the buck along to somebody else just because, it got to stop, you know. Spread the awareness, spread the knowledge like it's supposed to be spread. Hennessy, what's going on? And that's what I'm saying. That those are things you got to look at. Those are things that, again, you got to bring a situational awareness to. Like I said, some of y'all need to be more invested in these meetings and actually stand firm on what you need to stand firm on. Once you get the help that you know you're going to need, prime example, you know, start pushing forward. Start making things better. Instead of crying and moping about certain situations, try to find a way to make it better. You tired of seeing kids not having certain things, then do something that's going to be constructive for the kids. If they need book bags and all that other stuff, hey, you make sure you do those simple things. If they might need school supplies all around the board, do a school drive. You know, it don't cost much to get book bags and don't cost much to get notebooks, pens, pencils, all of that. Things that they gonna need. You know, we know there's some people who are financially not where they should be at, or they going through a rough, tough time. But if you know you could possibly help these people and change for the better, then why not do so? You know, that's why I said we just gotta come more prepared and just again stop passing the buck along. If we want better, we got to see better, and we got to envision better. You know, because what's more important? You know, those are questions that should be asked. What's more important? Trying to see something better happen, or just continuously seeing the destruction happen. I think at some point the people would want to say, well, enough is enough now. We got to definitely get back on a better playing field. What's the next options? What's the next plans? It's important. So that's why I said it's important to start building connections, relationships, and that's the best way to do it. Building rapport and building relationships with those who could possibly be a help towards, building a better demographic for you. It's important, man. And that's the thing. We gotta get up out of that sleep mode, basically. It's like our brains are on sleep to a degree. 'Cause like I said, I've seen some people who had little or next to nothing, come out even out of their own pockets and make something work. I've seen some people who have done functions and all of that, and money was coming out their pocket, nobody else's, their pockets. They didn't care because they thought about the overall picture. London, baby. But nowadays, like I said, it seems like everybody's asleep. No, let me take that back. It seemed like some of the people are asleep. I can't say everybody because, again, there are people out there who see the bigger picture and trying to do something better. And I could respect it. And I know with some situations, yes, you got to have the right type of people, the right type of investments for things to work, right? But when you do manage to get those investments, don't squander those investments, just because you want to do personal things for personal gain. Let's see. People been asleep all their lives, so now that shit hitting the. Yeah, it's the truth. Like I said, for some people, it's hitting harder now because now they seeing what's going on. Like I said, certain jobs are being replaced by AI and being replaced by technology. So this is why it's important. Like I said, bring back a lot of the trades that could possibly still be beneficial for the future. It's supposed to be that way. Again, we gotta have multiple options for different case scenarios. Okay, if this doesn't work but for so long, what we gonna do after we do get to that point? We should already have a plan calculated before we even think to get to that point in the first place. Like I said, you just careful execution plans and just the mindset of unity and sticking together. you'd be surprised how much we could get done. You know, and that's the thing. Gotta wake up. We have to definitely wake up and start being more structured towards greatness. You know, because I'm not gonna lie, some of these communities ain't never gonna change because it's already been established that this is how it's gonna be. But you still got other communities where they still fight and they standing up against the machine. They standing firm in what they believe in. And they actually trying to do what's necessary to change the dynamic, change the overall picture, which is a great thing. If I'm from a certain place, I try to do as much as I can do, but I also got to know that some things I'm not going to be able to do because when you have people who, again, are hell bent on not seeing change and not seeing revolution, you don't get that. I think Tupac said it best, may he rest in peace. Sorry to say it that way, but niggas is scared of revolution. They scared of change. That's because they know what possibly can be done. And then they probably wouldn't even know how to handle it. Well, shoot, we actually doing this. We actually, you know, but for some people, the reason why they scared of revolution is because, again, this is something that they've been taught to do. This is something that was basically embedded in the brains. Let me hate on my fellow brother and sister, or let me knock down somebody who's trying to build themselves up or build the community up around them. And that's sad, though. Again, when you switch your mindset, you know, the goals in life should be more easier. At least that's how I feel. But it's just something to think about. Again, how long we gonna keep crying and moping about certain things when we not trying to do something? Like I said yesterday, and I meant that. At some point, I'm thinking about trying to do something, little school drive shit for the kids that might need the help. Not everybody is gonna be on top of their game financially, but that doesn't mean the ones coming up under them should suffer. You know, like I said, for some of y'all that know y'all could do it, make it happen. You know, start giving back the way you should give back. You know, try to make things work. Like I said, you know, if your goal is do something for those that are less fortunate, keep doing so. You got people still opening up soup kitchens and doing things like that too. Like I said, it's the simple, basic things that if we just implement and do it the right way, it will give a blueprint and it will show the people around us that look, we still got people that care. We still got people who actually want to see some differences, and they definitely want to see some change for the better, for the future. So that's why it's important again to try to teach as much as you possibly can. You know, and that's the thing. That's true. Gratitude goes a long way. But that's the thing though. Certain things should never come at a cost. Doing something because it's right, doing something because it feels good, shouldn't come with a cost. If that's the case, we got people who are no longer here that was doing the right things for the right causes. And look what happened to them. Because of jealousy, hate, and envy, they not here no more to try to help. Or they no longer here to try to be the prime, you know, the prime person in charge. Like, look, I made this happen. I stood to my ground. You know, now here we are. And I think that's one thing we gotta eliminate too: the hate, the jealousy, and the envy. Because those be the things right there. You have people who are on the up and up doing great things, but are being met with nothing but hate and ignorance. You know, and that's the thing. Like prime example, you know, you got people who are doing things for the homeless in the community. We still got some, not well, we call them Meals on Wheels. Used, but they got different things right now. You got some people who they got food pantries open for the homeless, or food pantries open for those who, you know, are barely surviving as far as money is concerned. Still got soup kitchens. And then you got some people who stand out in the corner and literally give out what they gonna give out. Whether it's food, whether it's clothes, personals like the soap, deodorants, and all that. It's, you got people who actually care, who are out trying to do those things. You know, prime example. Uh, had a May she rest in peace. We had a woman that used to live in my building. Every every August she would do this. She would do a back to school drive for a lot of the kids in the community that couldn't afford the basic stuff like the pencils, the book bags, and all of that, even the coats and the jackets. She was doing all of that. Only thing you had to do was produce a report card that you had a passing report card, and you was good to go. Whatever you needed, whatever you wanted, she would do it. As long as you was showing that you was actually succeeding and excelling in school, that lady would do everything. And it didn't cost nobody a dollar. She never charged nobody. You wanna know why? And she could have to some degree with some people, because some of these people didn't even need help. They just was being greedy because it's free. She could have charged those people. She didn't. Why? Because she was doing something nice from the heart. Because she cared more about the kids than anything. It was just like my mom's before she passed away. You know, may she rest in peace. My mom's was involved in the community, especially with dealing with the young ones. If you needed help, you needed tutoring, you needed help with reading, you needed help with anything, she was there. You know, and that's what we need, more of that. You know, people being more structured and more geared to try to help the ones coming up under us, and even the young adults. She was down for that. If you look, if you need a resume done, you need this done, you need this done, I can help you. Or I could try to get somebody to help you. Serious, baby. Those that just tuned in, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. James, what's going on, my guy? You know, that's the thing. People actually cared. You know, because again, it wasn't just about self. It was about trying to help those who were actually in need of the help. You know, I think this is why I do certain things the way I do it, because I watched my moms do it with little or next to nothing sometimes. You know, they would, you know, even though she was part of this organization or whatever the case was, they, you know, like I said, it ain't no 9 to 5 where you getting paid. No. A lot of things they was doing out their own pocket. Let's go, you know, let's go plan a trip for these kids. California, baby. You know, and that's why I said with me, I think that's why I do some of the things I do as far as having the talks, having the conversations. Because it's the same thing my mom would have been doing. Having a good talking conversation, but also trying to help out the best way possible. Like I said, at some point, I'm thinking about doing this shit my damn self too. I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna go about that, and I'm gonna do something as far as school drive for the kids. If they need coats, they need book bags, rulers, all that stuff, I'll figure all that out. You know, or just start with the bare, you know, the bare basics. Or look, we got notebooks, pencils, pens, rulers. You know, protractors, whatever, calculators, all of that. It's important, man. You know, that's the thing. When you are doing something because it feels right, when you're doing something because you know it can be a game changer, you don't let nobody stop you. And see, that's why I respected a lot of the men and women out here because they didn't let nothing stop them. They still got people right now that are doing certain events, especially for the summer. You know, well, look, it's still football going on. You still got basketball tournaments, things along those lines. And some of these people, like I said, doing a lot of this stuff with their own money. They ain't looking for no government help or no assistance. No, I'm gonna do something because this is a tradition. This is something that we know is gonna keep some of these kids from looking towards the streets. And I think that's important. Remembering that again, you don't want your young ones or even anybody's young ones to fall victim to the streets or fall victim to things they don't need to fall victim to. Give these people opportunity. And like I said, even with some of the young adults, if you know you need resumes done, or you might not know how to do that, but that's something you should already learn even while you're in school, how to do a proper resume. But, if you don't know how to do it, you got people around that know how to do it. Ask for help. See, right now we in an era where people feel bad or feel prideful, and then guess what? They don't want to ask for the help that they know they're going to need. But then when you're not getting the situations right the way you should get them right, or you're not getting the opportunity you should get, you want to pass the blame. No, you got to get up out of that nonsense of foolish pride. When you know you need help in certain scenarios, ask for it. Not hard to do. If you could raise your mouth up to curse at somebody, you should do that same thing and ask for help when you know you need it. And I'm speaking to the young adults that need to hear it. Quick to want to talk about somebody and say something about somebody, but you're not willing to go do the work. You're not willing to go say, I need help. Let me just stop asking around and let me go get the help. You can't blame nobody else but yourself when things don't go right. You know, that's why I said it's important for the structure to start coming back to the village. Like I said, it seemed like in this era now, everybody's for self. Well, if it ain't my family, if it ain't my kid, I don't care. But shouldn't we stop doing that? Because remember, these same ones you saying or F them or same ones you trying to not care about eventually will end up being around some of your kids, some of your family members. It's inevitable, you know? I think that's where, again, we got to just start doing a little bit better. Start bringing back that awareness again. Um, Another thing, like I said, we take what we got and we do what we can do. And but again, we also don't allow ourselves to fall victim. We drop this link real quick just in case anybody want to chime in on the topic. Said I was reiterating on this, and I am. Oh, and I'm also gonna ask a question, and it's not going off topic. It kind of pans into what I'm talking about. What do a lot of you people deem as support? Question that need to be asked. Um, some people think support is just doing one specific thing, but in my opinion, I feel support is doing a lot of different things around the board. Like I'm even asking content creators right now, what do y'all deem as actual support from people? You know, frugal baby. I mean, a legit question. What do you deem as support? You know, and how do you know when you have genuine support? And do you acknowledge when you have genuine support? That's a question that should be asked because it seems like a lot of people have that definition of support twisted. Yes, I'm asking not just the content creators, I'm asking regular people this. I even asked one or two people outside in the streets yesterday, what do y'all deem as, overall support? You know, like prime example, what do you consider as friendship support? And the answer I got was as long as that person is open, open minded, as long as that person is not judgmental, as long as that person is actually doing what's necessary, being a good listening ear, you know, being there for me even when I'm at my downest time, that's support all around the board. Saying encouraging words, that's support. I got some different answers about what people deem as support. You know, BDBGP going on, my guy. But that's the thing, though. Again, what do you consider support? And do you acknowledge, you know, do you acknowledge those people that are supporting? Do you give them recognition when you're supposed to? Something to think about, you know. And it kind of does depend on the person. Yes, it does, because some people feel they only need one or two simple things and you're supportive. But even still, even if a person is doing those things, when do you actually reciprocate and show the same support back? When do you give acknowledgement and praises where it's due? You know, what up, baby, baby? Hope all well with you. I think the best form of support is consistency. You know, being consistent with that person. And just never letting up. I got people right now that would consider me a support system, or opening ear, and all of that because I am just that. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be open to everything that you're telling me. Again, I ain't judgmental. You know, anything, I'm going to be the most encouraging person that I can be, even when I ain't feeling that encouraged. And just because I might be feeling the type of way, that don't mean somebody else has to feel that way. Me, I'm different. Like I said, I got a lot of people that come to me with things because I'm a easy person to talk to. I don't allow certain things to override my overall decisions you know, and my overall character. You know, I've had people come to me with things that I'm taking with me to my grave because, that's just me. And this is why it's easy. Because again, I'm a good listener. I'm always going to be opening to whatever it is you're going through. But I might say something in particular that actually puts you back in that right mind state. I've had people who was on the verge of crashing out. And I said the simplest things that actually brought them back down to reality. Because that's what's needed. Have an open heart, an open ear, but also have a wise, choice in the words that you use, or just overall, you know, making everybody feel how they're supposed to feel. You shouldn't feel like you next to nothing when you still here for a reason. No doubt, East Dad. You already know, man. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you. I think that's important again to remember. You know, Always acknowledge and recognize those who are really being supportive too. Don't don't try to acknowledge or only those who are barely there. No, you acknowledge those who are there day in and day out. You acknowledge those who are doing their damnedest by you. I've always felt that way. You know, like prime example. I'm gonna give this as a prime example. With a lot of y'all that are still here, I always still show y'all the love and support, and y'all been showing me the love and support. I always take my time out to appreciate everybody that has been a part of the build, still becoming a part of the build. That's not just a saying and a phrase. That's how I feel right now. There's a lot of y'all who have been consistent. There's a lot of y'all who have been doing the greatest things, you know, being a part of the build. I'm not gonna sit there and not acknowledge it. Even down to my mods, my manager mods. Y'all all have been consistent. Y'all all have been great help. Y'all have all been an inspiration. And I always deeply appreciate it. You know, again, it's just about what do some people deem as support. You know, and this is my thing. Prime example. I got two of the best managing mods I believe in here, and they always consistent. They always on point. And again, I always acknowledge them and give them the greatest sincerity because it is coming from a pure place. You know, there's times when I know I was having little issues as far as the StreamYard is concerned, and y'all held it down. There's times when I'm in my zone and I'm barely paying attention to the chat, and y'all held it down and done what was needed. And again, it's all love, and I appreciate that because you didn't necessarily have to do it. Serious, you being one of them, you have been nothing but a great supporter and a great moderator. And hey, you've also been a great friend as far as, saying the right things. You know, James, same thing, man. You've been here, you've been a great friend, great supporter. You know, you've done things that you didn't necessarily have to do, but you did. It's a lot of y'all. Man, listen, shout out to my brother Word because Word showed me that there's more people, not just like me and him, but there's people who actually give a damn about what they do. And, they go the distances that they have to go to just to make sure that everything is working properly. And whatever ain't conducive, we move on from that. And I think that's important, is giving out those praises and giving out the gratitude when needed. You know, there was some things I wasn't aware of, and like I said, shout outs to Word, shout outs to Riders, shout outs to all the main ones that really still kept it real and still are keeping it real. And still showing genuine support all around the board. You already know, serious baby, but it's true. That's because again, you supposed to do things like that. Without y'all, there is no me. Without the people, that's what people got to realize. Without other people, there is no you. At least when it comes to content creation, I don't care how lit you think you are in life. If you ain't got the right circle of people to help and keep growing, you ain't shit. Sorry to say it that way. You're not. Not going to be where you think you should be at. Or you'll be sitting there struggling forever to get to somewhere. So I said it's important. It's important to always try to acknowledge those who are actually doing what's necessary, supporting you in the right ways. Some people think it's always just about money. No, nigga. Shit, I could care less if you support me money wise or not. As long as you're just being a great, support. As long as you are keeping it open and honest. As long as you are being respectful. As long as you are doing all the right things that are needed. Shit, I'm happy. Shit, saying kind words, encouraging words. That right there is support. James, you still owe me a coffee machine. Don't worry about that. That's gonna come out your bill for the club. Serious, you owe me a hot tea machine too. It's all right though. It's all right. Y'all gonna stop taking stuff out my club, damn it. I'm not playing with y'all no more. I ain't gonna say this no more in my Birdman voice. I ain't gonna say that no more. Nah, but I'm saying it's the truth. You know, some people have a vague definition of support. Again, my vision of support is just consistency. You being consistent all the time. That's it. I don't require much. Like I said, everybody is different. You know, like I said, show some appreciation to those who are truly, genuinely supporting you all around the board. See, with me, most of y'all supporting me all around the board. Shoot, even Platty. I know she's somewhere in the damn forest hiding with my kangaroos. But shoot, even her, a great support. When she's here, you might laugh, crack jokes, but it's support all around the board, especially when it comes to these topics and conversations. Dee Dee, you another one. You've been consistent. You've also been, great in, doing what you do. You share out a lot of people. You try to pop in everywhere you can pop up. That's support right there. Even Riaz as wherever he at, another one. You know, always showing up, showing out, supporting, sharing people out. I appreciate every last one of y'all who have really been inspiration and a driving force. And shit, even my peoples that ain't on the app right now that support me and that have been subs to the channel. Y'all know what the hell it is. Shoot. I got cousins and everybody else around that's been around this channel, even if they haven't been in the chat, that support everything happening. They support the good talks and conversations. Y'all are part of the inspiration as well, too. You know, I think that is important. Again, acknowledging those who, especially you got some who will shoot, even overexert themselves just trying to make sure everything is straight on, and that's good. But again, everybody's definition of support is different. Just because you show up in the chat, that doesn't mean that's just one form of support. But that don't mean that's the main support. For some people, it might be. For others, there's more than that. So you got to remember that part too. But I would ask too, what is important? What is important to you? You know, and you got to also remember when you don't do certain things along the nature, like I was saying, when you're not showing that genuine love and reciprocation back to those who really are or have been a great support all around the board, it's almost like you slighting them. It's almost like you pushing them to the side. And some people will feel a type of way behind that. That's a way for some of y'all to lose actual genuine support. Danielle, baby, it's been a minute, baby. I hear you. I hear you. Don't worry, I gotta go on the plantation a couple hours myself. You know, and that's the thing. You know, when people show up for you, you show them that love and that respect, and you also give the praises where it's due. That's why I always sound the way I sound to a degree when it comes to y'all, because y'all are a focal point of growth. You are a focal point of just succeeding. You also are the focal points because again, y'all make these things work. You know, like when I drop links or when I pin links, look, we done had multiple conversations in my last 3 years or so of doing content. I done had conversations that went on for hours. I done had people on panels, even certain people I ain't cool with no more. Fuck it. It's part of the content. It's part of that. But I still always gave praises where it's due. Shit, I even give shout outs to all my fucking haters. Like shit. Because without that hate and without that extra fuel, hey, it doesn't push me further, you know? Yeah, sometimes the hate will do that. The hate will definitely push you further into something greater. That's my motivation right there. Gotta have motivation all around the board, but all in all, you still gotta show love and respect to those who made it possible or who are making it possible. Anytime you decide to slight somebody that you know has been doing the utmost for you, you setting yourself up for failure. And you also going to alienate that person to where they don't want to be bothered. Is that really worth it? That's a question that should be asked. You know, like I said, I definitely appreciate everybody who has been part of and still is part of this growing channel and this growing family. Can't even call it a channel. This is the family. It's a straight up family. You know, this is the extended family that I wish everybody had. You know, got people from all different cylinders, got people from all different walks of life. But everybody should be able to come together and have a grown up conversation, in which we do. And I love the hell out of that. And it goes to prove to other people that, hey, you can do something even with people from different walks of life. It can be done, you know. But again, just, make sure you're doing it the right way. You ain't gonna never catch me trying to backdoor somebody or get rid of somebody just because. I gotta have an ample reason for me to get rid of you or just stay away from you. No doubt, Angela, baby. Wait a minute. You can't leave out of here without our damn tacos and burritos, man. I don't care if it ain't Tuesday. Hold up, serious. Lock the door. Angela can't leave until we get our damn. We need our tostadas, damn it. But this is what I'm saying though. That's the one thing you always gotta remember. You know, you gotta have a balance and a structure when it comes to anything that you're doing, anything that you're building. But it also, again, it just gotta feel right. What I do, it feels right. That's why I continue to fight and I continue to bring content the way I do. I don't care if it's every damn day. I don't care if it's 15 times out the day. You're gonna get something. Didi, don't be co-signing. Don't be co-signing and laughing. Serious, lock the door again. See, we think we playing today. We think we playing today. But no, you just gotta remember that part. Support goes a long way. But you can also lose that support in an instance. The minute you start switching up, the minute you decide to, you know, disregard or downplay the next person and what they do for you, simple way for you to lose out on people. Yeah, I think for some people, y'all better go back to the drawing board and figure out what your definition of support is. Because some people will definitely go all the way out for you and you don't even see it. But in that same token, you could lose it. And again, you won't even see it. You know? So again, I appreciate everybody that has been a part of this. You know, I might not say it every day, but then again, I say it every day before I get up out of here. Appreciate everybody. That's not just a damn saying. That's just how I feel. That's all in all how I feel. You know, y'all are a great support system, and y'all are just great all around the board. Oh, and another thing for some that might need to hear it. Sometimes you only need one or two people that, and those one or two people will be your greatest supporters. They will always have your back. They will always tell you something that you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You know, like I said, you know, I could have been doing a whole bunch of different things as far as this channel was concerned, but I decided to do it this way because again, I had people before I fully even started even doing the stream, y'all, that was in my ear telling me, yo, this is something you should do. You know, you actually got wisdom and knowledge, or you actually just got a way with saying things that are needed to be said. And that's what I chose to do. I could have turned this into a sports channel. I could have turned this into an interview channel. I could have turned this to anything. Oh yeah, shout out to my brother Jared, man. Like I said, shout outs to everybody who really has been a support. You know, Jared is another one. Me and him was neck and neck as far as when we was growing the channels. Even though I think I might have been on the app before him. You know, but look, hard work and dedication and just consistency, and you could make anything happen, you know? But again, for some people, I think y'all need to go back to the drawing board and find out what support really means to you. And again, when you find a way to alienate a person who really has done nothing but showing you love and support, things will go downhill. You'll see it for yourself, you know? A snacks channel, I ain't messing with. Look, this could have been a cooking channel. This could have been anything. I chose what I chose because this was something that I was already doing on another platform. I wasn't every day with it, but when I went live, the people was tuned in because you already know what time it is when it comes to certain things. No, we need to hear this, and we need to figure out ways to try to make certain things better. You know, but again, you never discredit. See, like prime example, I can't name two best moderators in here because I have a whole bunch of great moderators in here that I know for a fact are always on point. Even when James and Sirius ain't here, I got other ones that come in and do what's necessary, and I appreciate them as well. Again, it's just about showing love and gratitude when it's needed. You know what? I'm feeling good today. Feeling very good today, y'all. And I think I'm gonna do something even though I don't want to, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh wait, serious before anything or before I get to my madness. Remember this person?
What the hell Ante? What the hell on? What the hell Berry? What the hell Bird?
Yeah, my bad, y'all. No, we had to get one of those in. We had to get one of those in. I'm gonna definitely reiterate on this too. You know, because again, it's good to see what people actually deem as support. You know, Some people will say, "Oh, you were genuinely supporting me," but then the same token, you kind of discrediting them because you're not showing them the same love and the same respect that anybody else would have been showing. Danielle, don't start the madness. Do not start the madness. Oh, see, look, see, she started the madness. See what happened? Danielle, come get your nephew.
I'm gang, and I'm dangerous. Smith and Wesson, and it's stainless.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. The madness has begun. The madness has begun. Oh, come dance with me. Come dance with me. Yeah, don't encourage the madness. James, don't encourage the madness. Come on, Uncle Red Shirt. Do not encourage the madness, y'all. Oh man. But see what I do here, I'm gonna have serious militant talks like I'm in a damn military. But I'm also gonna have some moments when we gonna calm down, we gonna be cool, we gonna be relaxed. You know, we need some recreation. We always gonna need the recreation. Didi, stop co-signing. Stop co-signing. See, you know what? I knew that was gonna happen. Watch this. You know, I ain't got no sense. No, I ain't got no sense. This what happens when you got the militant mind.
Chain of BS, I ain't with the BS. Catch me in the city riding hard through the BS. Skinny nigga, but I do it large like a 3X. The last nigga tried to do me wrong, he checked. Right back to that money slinging O's in the PJ. I'll probably catch a mileage while the pilot stay the PJ.
Yeah, you know I had to bring some of those back. You know I had to bring some. Oh, serious. Remember I said I got rid of something yesterday during the live stream. I got it back. Yeah, I just had to change the music up. That's it. I just had to change the music up, y'all. You know. But here, get some motivation real quick.
Touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable, shake the unshakable.
It's holy, baby.
Can't see the unseeable, reach the unreachable, do the impossible.
It's holy, baby.
Can't move the unmovable, stop the unstoppable. I'm so far ahead of my time, I'm about to start another life. Look behind you, I'm about to pass you twice. Back to the.
Yeah. What you mean no coffee? What you mean no coffee? Here, take all this coffee. Look, James, we need no decaf. We need extra espresso shots. So this way we can all do this. No, I ain't got no damn sense. I ain't got no damn sense. Oh, matter of fact, never mind. Hold on. I think I found something I was looking for.
Bounce back, take a loss, nigga, get it right back. She get tossed round, moving like that. Outside with the demons, Beyonce almost made me drown, but I'm brave. I had to lose to win. Then I told myself.
Yeah, don't encourage my madness, damn it. Don't encourage it. Oh wait, I got something for all the coffee drinkers. And you know your boy ain't got no sense. I told you I'd take my damn phone away.
I might embarrass you. Yeah, glow. Stomp a little with some shell toes. Yeah, glow. Slapping rappers and making bail. Yeah, glow. Two-tone Cartier match the nails. Yeah, glow. No competition, these stale. Yeah, glow. Curbing my.
Yeah, don't encourage the madness, y'all. Don't encourage the damn man. Don't encourage the madness. Hold on 1 second. Well, encourage it. Hold on.
She want me on me like no. Sorry girl, but you gotta go. Sorry girl, but it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much, girl. It's too much. It's too much, girl.
Man, don't encourage the madness. Actually, do encourage it.
Don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in.
Frugal baby, don't encourage my madness. Don't encourage my madness. It be like that. It be like that. I told y'all to take my shit months ago. No, my fault. I told y'all to take this when I first started. Y'all did not listen. So hey, take this.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with him. Walking down whole time, I know he got some hoe in him. Pole on him, extort shit, bully the flow on him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a weird case, why?
Yeah, don't encourage my madness, y'all. You know I ain't got no damn sense. Actually, I do.
Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Niggas talking shit, bitches talking shit is my problem. Niggas talking shit.
You know I ain't got no damn sense. I told y'all to take my shit eons ago. But since y'all think it's Summer Jam,
Rex, keep them on me like I live in the bank. Pints, did it dessert like I live out the drink. My fashion is high, I live in the sky. I'm keeping my fire, I hope they don't try. You heard I'm on fire, but that ain't no lie. My youngins, I love them, I know they gon' ride. Rex, Hunter.
I told y'all eons ago to take my shit away from me. But here, take the Pink Panther.
Nigga, I'm a money fiend, nigga, I'm a cash addict. Yeah, all these fucking blues, look like I play for the Magic. Run around with them, I can't let them catch me lagging. No, walking in the Gucci store, spent 6K on a jacket. Nigga, your child phone weak, get your mom.
Yeah, I told y'all take that shit. Yeah, hold on.
Line around the corner, line them up the block and over. Sometimes I even stop the smoking when it's time to focus. My shade, Dior, my pants, velour. Create, explore, expand, concord. I came, I saw, I came,
Yeah, my bad, y'all. You know I ain't got no damn sense. And since y'all still want to encourage the madness, take one of these.
Don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me, girl, take all your sins. So let me, girl, take all. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me, girl, take all your sins. So let me, girl, take all. So let me, girl, take all your sins.
Embrace all the coffee. Embrace it. Bask in it. Inhale it. Oh, since you don't want to inhale it.
Some things don't work and that's the way love goes. I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it. It's over now, time will tell.
Oh, for everybody that's starting their vacations. Oh yeah, I still got something for y'all. Don't get it twisted. I still got something for y'all. But let me shout out to all the people celebrating birthdays this week. All you cancer babies. Monday would have been Mom Duke's birthday, so you know I got to wild out for the whole weekend as always. But hold on, before I start wilding out, let me do this. Let me do this the right way. Let me do this the right way. Oh, hold on. Didi, come get your nephew.
Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Not my problem, that's just not my problem.
Yeah, make sure y'all come get your nephews and them. Yeah, don't mind my pettiness, you know. I appreciate you, Serious. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody. But hold on 1 second. Let me get a message from our local neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm out the way, yeah, I'm low, okay. Yeah, the island right here is remote, okay. I ain't thinking about no reaper, nigga, I'm reaping what I sow, okay. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house, like I'm Joe, okay. Hellcat, made his own voice in them types LA solo, okay. Everybody wanna be demon till they get chipped by your
My fault. Did I say Spider-Man? I meant Hustle Man. My bad. Message from your neighborhood Hustle Man. But yeah, this conversation was definitely needed. I think I basically reiterated from yesterday's conversation again. How long are we gonna keep passing the buck before we start standing up and rising up? Do the simple things that could bring a community and a village back together. We can't always play victim. Don't encourage my madness. Don't encourage it. Don't encourage it. Actually encourage it. We need more of that. We do. We do. Oh, Danielle, you've been missing for a minute, so here. Oh yeah, get your dance on before we actually get our dance on. Let me get my PlayStation up and running. I'm gonna let y'all vibe out the rest of this live with some good little musical tunes, But I'm gonna definitely reiterate on this conversation because again, that's another thing I want to know. What do some of y'all deem as genuine support? And how do you go about trying to keep that genuine support around you? Because I think it's needed. Because again, some people definitely do and go above and beyond for you. And it should be appreciated. Hey, 1 second, y'all. 1 second. There you go. There you go. Don't encourage the madness. Y'all still laughing up in here. It's all right. It's all right. Oh, it is hump day. So, yeah, my bad. It's hump day. Here you go. Yeah, yeah. I just remembered something, too. I forgot about him. And for that email that I know is definitely coming.
Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Not my problem, that's just not my problem.
Yeah, Danielle, you've been missing for a minute, so here, take one of these.
She want me on me like no. Sorry girl, but you gotta go. Sorry girl, but it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much.
And take one of these before I start the madness. And take one of these too.
Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off.
And take one more for good measurement. I told y'all, the longer y'all take my advice, it's gonna be worse. There's more coming, and there's more coming, and there's more coming. There's more coming. But here, take this before we get up into this goodness. Before we start getting into this music playlist. That shit ain't no playlist. Before we get crazy in here for this little time frame, one more again for the people who don't know nothing. There you go. There you go. Yeah, but nah, we gotta do things, you know. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that tuned in for the talk. What the hell happened to my? Wait a minute. I don't like this. What's going on with my shit? Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I'm playing with my damn. Ah, you playing with my damn playlist? Oh, yeah. It seems like y'all trying to play with my damn play. I don't like this update. I don't like this update. This is getting annoying. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. But I can do this.
These niggas praying on my downfall. These niggas praying on my downfall. I'm not 10, bitch, I stood tall. Then, Shorty just loyal niggas hot boil. Go get a thermometer for the pot. I need this shit cooked right. Let's keep that water 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You ever been inside a federal courtroom? Nigga, you ever went to trial and fought for your life? Being broke did something to my spirit. Ass niggas to plug me. They act like they couldn't hear me. Look at me now, German engineer. You don't want your baby mama fuck, keep the hoe from near me. Kilroy. Remember when I used to use your L's? They hit the road, hit the oil, make them big boy sales. Ooh, remember when you had to bring things mail with vacuum seals, trying not to have them bring things smell fast for zombie? What you know about related to money? I don't know nothing. I just used to see them walk to the county. I fuck with bitches, my body count go from Persian to Cody. Any further questions, you can take that up with the lawyer. My nigga think with J Money. I'm a low project, Joe, take you every day before school. I sold a half boat. How you think I won best dress with no support? And had no paid lawyers coming in and out of court. Ain't wind up. Ain't the ain't it a blessing? We made it out of Kentucky after all that happened. After the pre-trials, after the status, after the impact statements, after the council. Hey, JR, nigga. Ain't it a blessing? We made it out of less, and after all that happened, that bitch nigga after Michigan State, after 101 man sold on us, the bands they took from us. Joy Road, bitch, with the money loaded 6 mile, 3 mile, knock your ox down, pick her up, knock her back down, pull her tracks out. Yes, I slap girl. Yes, I slap dog. Yes, I slap loud. Yes, I slap a pussy nigga if he ain't out. Yes, I got cases on the road with them killers, bro. Kill me if I snitches. If you snitch, I'm gonna kill you. Spend a lot of time on the yard with them gorillas. Stood tall, and I let niggas help me quit being silly. I know for a fact your bitch pussy get wet for a nigga. Cause I do it better, plus I'm doing better than niggas. I'm at home when I'm down there in Lexington, niggas. About the team, nigga, drop you in who next to you, nigga. Say a little T, get ahead of them niggas. When you take off, I'm back to try to rescue them niggas. I can't spins to make sure you get the rest of them niggas. I don't gotta get the best of you, just get the revenue, niggas. So let me know what you can handle. Okay, come back, but you both some extra. So if I'm busy, you can make the things. Bling gas me $60 salary. Until you get there and back, tell them I need a challenge. My first offer was 30 years, not a day low. I told them crackers holla at me when they sober. I'm a roll, I'm a fella. You think I ain't got that floor? Yeah, you right, bro. Take his head off his fucking show. Hear me? Get the rollie stone with the rodeo. It was our getaway car, Jack Portfolio. You hear me? Hey, I heard I had some sleep dishes. Whoever feeling hot, that AR got a heat sense. You would say it don't entertain them hungry niggas. I wish I would pay attention to these homeless niggas. Nigga, on my phone, I don't wanna do no song with niggas. You tell your bitch to tighten up before I bone it, nigga. I don't know you niggas. Fuck on with niggas. Through these white bucks, I can see the hole in niggas. Free my nigga Perry, go that way, be hoeing niggas. Shoot the smile off your face, I don't joke with niggas. Why I can't trust you with that strap if you ain't got nobody? Why I can't take you on no dick if you ain't round nobody? You ain't no shooter, you can't do that shit without no money. I came home and had the hoes better than kinda hard. 30 months ago, niggas ain't think that I was coming home. So I'm to them niggas free shit, I been coming on. Get them to the crib, bust them down, now bitch running some. Can't get the second like it's so wrong. 30 bands, 2 times, watch this money come. The fans say my name.
I like when they're having on. So my little brother's gone. Pull up in the coffee zone. Who said that was snitch?
Check the black and white, that paperwork above for him. Zero toleration for that nigga. Take that plate from him. He don't want that pistol plate. Okay, I talk to him. I ain't here for bitches when I had the blues on. So soon as I'm done, fucking put your shoes on. I'm up for roll in 2 states. I can't
No doubt, Danielle, baby.
I can't move on.
Have a great one, sis.
I'm 2-0.
Good to see you again.
I can't even be in public with my hoodie on. Michigan State don't want them here. They don't know who they on. I know they prayed on my downfall.
I already know that.
They prayed on my downfall. I don't know a team, bitch.
On 10 toes.
Even though I live my life on the road, doesn't mean I don't have time for you. Plenty I tried
I
all,
see you, Siri Belly.
none of them compare to you. So let's live our life, although my life. Promise if I could, I'd do it twice as fast. Put on my horse, first prize. Oh, I got more love. It's so crazy, but as long as you're right here, you know what? Nothing can stop us. I love you with no fears. We can do this thing together. Close your eyes and take my hand. Cause we're having something special, baby. Let's just take our chance. Last week I was in Paris for that. Only thing that was missing was you. Who would have thought we won't get married by now? Been true ever since high school. Let's live our life, dancing all night. You are where you should be. I want this way I let you slide. I'll put on my clothes, press play. Wow, my life is so crazy, but as long as you're right here, all the gossip, nothing can stop us. I love you with no fears. We can do this thing together. Close your eyes and take my hand. We have something special, baby. Let's just take our chance. Don't be shy, don't be scared. Get up, I want you. I don't care. Get up, baby, move your feet up. Been waiting so long for feeling like that. Feel life can get so crazy, but as long as you're right here, none of the gossip, nothing can stop us. I wanna love you with no fears. We can do this.
See you, James. And Siri Belly.
Take my hand. We have something special, baby. Let's just take our chance.
All I ever wanted was a black grand national. Fuck being rational. Give them what they ask for. It's not enough. Keep selling niggas left, but it's not enough. You bigger than a ring step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. On their ass. Somebody gotta do it. I make niggas mad. Somebody gotta do it. I take it you bad. Watch a nigga do it. We survive outside, all from the music, nigga. What? They like, what he know? This is Alabama Omega, bitch. Welcome home. This is not a song. This is a revelation. How to get a nigga gone. You a man, baby. I don't want to stand, baby. Tell your brother, nigga. Take it like I can, baby. Teach me something. Make me correction. That's the plan, baby. Don't put your life in the good, nigga. Stand, baby. It's not enough. You selling niggas left, but it's not enough. You bigger than a ring step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. Somebody gotta do it. I make niggas mad. Somebody gotta do it. I take it. Watch a nigga do it. We survive outside, all from the music, nigga. What? Turn this TV off. And with my type activity, and don't you get involved. Hey, what? I'm really shit I see. It's in the mall. Take a risk, take a trip. No, I'm tripping for my dog. Deal with couple starches and lieutenants. What they do back. This revolution, big televised. I fell through with the knickknacks. Say, young nigga, get your chili up. Yeah, I admit that. They blacked out. They act out. Yeah, I get that. Hey, what's up, though? I hit a bitch that's hitting on the bitch and they both hoes. I hit a nigga hitting on them niggas and they both broke. If you ain't coming for no chili, what you come for? Nigga feel like she entitled cause he knew me since a kid. Bitch, I put my money on, but she don't see it how I see it. Got a big mouth, but he like big ideas. Send him to the moon, that's just how I feel, yeah. It's not enough. Keep selling niggas left, but it's not enough. You bigger than a ring step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough.
See how you get it. Niggas acting bad, but somebody gotta do it. Put my foot up in your ass, and somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, 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 turn this TV off. Ain't no other king in this web thing, they siblings. Nothing but my children. One shot, they disappearing. I'm in the city with a flag, we getting thrown like it was pass interference. Padlock around the building. Crack pulling up in no mark truck just to play freeze tag. With a bone to pick like it was sea bass. So when I made it out, I made it about 50K from a show. Trying to show niggas the ropes before they hump for a boat. I'm prophetic. They only talk about it, how I get it. Only good for saving face, seems cosmetics. How many heads I gotta take to level my aesthetics? Hurry up and get your muscle up. We got the 5 metric. Nigga ran up by the lux, and that's up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet. People diabetic. They mouth shit full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walking New Orleans with the etiquette, the LA yelling. Niggas acting bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, 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 turn this TV off. Scary, spooky, hilarious, crazy, 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 scary, spooky, hilarious. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Apparently, my joystick died on me. There you go.
And if you hear me sound like home at your back, home at your knees, baby, shake it to the max. Did you please turn on the pace to the max? Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max. 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 Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max.
Madman, chill out. 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 Yeah. Madman, chill out. Madman, chill out. Yeah. Put my tin on your side. Make your converse good and never take a lot. Like a ball, pussy fast. They don't put it in the cookie. Yeah, you make it catch your brand. Original, yeah, somebody in a car.
And if you hear me sound like home at your back, home at your knees, baby, shake it to the max. Did you please turn on the pace to the max? Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max. 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 Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max. I'm the young girl, no fatigue, no fatigue. Yeah, you know what you're doing. Say they know what you're doing. Yeah, anything you say, them girl, let do it like it's hot. Okay, my own money like the cousin when we trap. Read about it, girl, get nasty. I don't want to have my watch, just but I'm a boss. I don't want to charge. If I get my own, I'm still falling in love. Yes, and anybody can touch this. Baby, I am not the home. Rice and teeth, but you're not the color. I could make a taste, and you were just in my past. And if you hear me sound like home at your back, home at your knees, baby, shake it to the max. Did you please turn on the pace to the max? Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max. 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 Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max. I'm not a fan, I'm a one to come on. I came just to kill me too many times. They want cigarettes, but I don't need a mask. They all tell me why, they make sure we get chance. You did it with the body, of course. Oh, you did it with the bus. You see right up, but you know that it's a loss.
See, I ain't getting it.
You did it with us. Study on me, but you can't touch this. Baby, I already leveled up. You make it for love, and I make it for my love. Baby, you can handle this sauce. And if you hear me start like home at your back, home at your knees, baby, shake it to the max.
See you, Jan. See you soon, baby.
Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max. 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 Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max.
I just wanna do it just how you and I. Say you ain't break that life. I didn't sing that side, but I gotta go and I gotta run it out. Big bucks never coming in the lunch. I was gonna say I ain't go front. Say girl, but it's just too much. It's too much, it's too much, 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 too much. It's too much, it's
I swear you saw you and I saw you in my life. I ain't living on that time. Cause she want me on me like no. Side up, she gotta go. Side up, but it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. It's too much, it's too much, it's too much. It's too much, it's too much, it's too much. It's too much, it's too much, it's too much. It's too much, it's too much, it's too much. It's too much, it's too much. I'm tired of it. The same stories, the same games, the same lies, the same tricks that you play and think I'm a red light. The same I come again, I waste my damn time. I say we got it as friends, she thinks she all mine. Come and go, these women come and go. I let her fuck me go, as long as she know that I'm falling down. I don't think I can take it no more. I don't know if I can stay in it, though I love it. Come and go. Do you really want me or is it sad? I know that she's scared that I might just find another. I'm trying to find a stick from the skin that we can play it. Find another player. I'm losing it all. You hit me back. I've had enough. She's losing my heart. We're keeping in touch. How can we be friends when we wish just fucking? I'm tired of it.
Same chickens, the same biscuits, the same fries.
The same tricks that you play, think I'm a red light. The same I come again, I waste my damn time. I said we better as friends, she thinks she all mine. Come and go, this women come and go. I let her fuck me go, as long as she know that I'm a son. Falling down, don't think I can take it no more. I don't know if I can stay even though I love it. Come and go, but I don't know. I seen it all, baby, yes, I done seen it all. You come me down, but now I think I'm just got it all. Falling in, loving it, I fell out of touch. And tell me, girl, what are we on? I'm tired of the same stories, the same games, the same lies, the same tricks that you play and think I'm a red light. The same I come again, I waste my damn time. I say we better as friends, she thinks she all mine. Come and go, spinning, come and go. I let her come and go, as long as she know that I was her. Come and go, don't think I can take it no more. I don't know if I can stay in it, oh, I love it.
body is okay. It's not too obvious, okay. I like your confidence, your confidence, okay. It's like a long, it's okay. Like the body is okay. The body is okay. I just stop the fire. I'm fire. Somebody be tired. I need more money, Rebecca, Serena, Selena. Let's start your choir. I do it, she gets your back. You don't need no one help you inspire. My attitude, I'ma give you some bags on my attitude. You're on the island, but I ain't never seen no gratitude. They can't disrespect your gratitude. I don't play around, man, I don't care. I'm addicted to you, and it's clear. My whole body is okay. It's not too obvious, okay. I don't confidence. Good confidence, okay. It's like a longing. It's like a longing, it's okay. The body is okay. You gotta start a whole fire. I'm on fire. Somebody be tired. I need money, Rebecca, Serena, Selena. Let's start a whole choir. I do it, she gets your back. You don't need no one help you inspire. I need the person that's my energy. It's like she enemy. To the word you money, you know what these bitches enemies. These fishes in the sea. I didn't need a big spray. I feel like my wife, but she down like she my enemy. I need a brand new side fight. I didn't know one on my mind. I listen to someone on the phone. See y'all. I only wanted it this tonight. Cause when I wanted to take the time, that's why I wanted to make it mine. I like the way your body is. It's not too obvious, okay. I got a couple songs I gotta get up out of here, but appreciate y'all for rocking out. Just like you know, just like you know. Baby, be like me. Be like me. I'll get you back like me. Oh, God, it's not too obvious, okay. I feel confidence, good confidence, okay. It's like a longing, it's like a longing, it's okay. You gotta roll the tire, but anytime I don't know you're back to me, so let's start the fire. I don't want to get your back, you want to know what happened to fire. Let's go, let's go, let's seduce me in my heart. I'm choosing you. Want you to rock it up. I had a process. I'm not and I don't play cards. You know that I'm playing. Oh God, it's not too obvious, okay. I like your confidence, the confidence, okay. Like a longing, it's like a longing, it's okay. The body is stop your fire. I'm on fire. So let me tell you, I need a money, Rebecca, Serena, Selena. Let's start a choir. I do it, she gets you back. You don't need no one help you inspire. Definitely appreciate y'all. Got a couple songs and I gotta get up out of here. But I appreciate everybody that rocked out and tuned in for the conversation today. Sorry, I'm cutting it kind of short today, but I gotta do one or two things before I get up out of here later. Where the hell is my? Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. They playing games with me. I got it. Cruising down on the scale. She ain't fucking with no name. She ain't fucking in the summer. Trying to see if it's the same way. Trying to see if it's the same. 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 You already know, man. Try to see if it's the same, yeah. The reason change like seasons change, yeah. The money talks, then please explain, yeah. It's more than words that we exchange, yeah. You wanna ride, it can be arranged, yeah. That thing better than keep it staying, yeah. And I deliver like a piece of change. I came through dripping like she's a drain, and I'm dripping in ice like freezing rain, yeah. Busy tonight and gotta work them off. Come take it easy, you been working hard. What if I said you ain't gotta twerk it, boss? You could quit tonight and call your boss and jerk them off. Would it still be the same with her? You know it's hard to get her back once the game get her. Add the hustle, trips, and watches to the swag. Got a shout out to the single ladies faithful to that bag. She ain't fucking with the name. She ain't fucking in the summer. Try to see if it's the same. Try to see if it's the same. Trying 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 to see if it's the same. Popping on when another single in the summer, everybody moved up. They was singing in the summer. I ain't going back and forth with you niggas in the summer. Got me in my feelings like Shiggy in the summer. I found out Kiki didn't love me. She ain't been riding. She just been hiding. When the door sliding. That's how she bumped into her other dude. And now her other dude see her with another dude. And her other dude cool with her another dude. I won't even talk about the other dude. This is she's gotta have it shit. Some no later niggas Thanksgiving savage shit. Some Russell Westbrook triple double average shit. But for me to give a shit, I gotta have this shit. Thought I had you, but I had to learn. I ain't have you, I just had my turn. Yeah. She ain't fucking with the night. She never fucking in the summer. Try to see if it's the same. 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 I'm showing love. Keep party with love. I'm just trying to show you love. I think we got it back. This is where the party at. I wanna know. I see you, James. See you, serious, baby. I got 2 more left for y'all. 2 more. Keep it classy, I can be romantic. It's all up to you. What you wanna do? I just love me. And it's some passion. I'm keep that. Imagine. Cheaper, living lavish. Beat up, better in the club. I'm strong with love. Keep party with love. I'm just trying to show you love. We got it back. This is where the party at. I wanna know how we're supposed to know. Let's take a trip to the other side. Everything around the wine. Cross up on the trees. Sad about the leaves. Love without the beaches. Everything you need. It's really easy. No one's up beside. Boy, something about I'm a keeper. Keep nothing to find you. Keeper. Boy, we live in diamonds. Your feet up. I wanna do is get away with you. Yeah. What's up? What we gonna do when you need love? Better in the town. I'm showing love. Keep party with love. I'm just trying to show you love. Yeah, we got it back. It's where the party at. When I wanna know how it's supposed to know. My bad, y'all. No, I gotta be stupid with it.
my birthday. I just went and got me a new AK. Sent my dog up the road from J-Pay. I had two pretty hoes to trade with. Running work and I kill it for baby. Spending money, she never gonna go away. I got a Glock, it's a throwaway. I got racks on the wall in the doorway. So rich, I have to go murder for her. Murder for her. Murder for her. You know that you murder right hard. Murder for her. We don't shoot. Murder for her. Murder for her. You know that you murder right hard. Drop, drop, send the file drop tomorrow. Get the drop, 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 drop. How about the band on shoot? How about the band on shoot? How about the band on shoot? How about the subway don't shoot? How about the band on 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 shoot? Last song of the night, y'all. I get up out of here. But I appreciate everybody that rocked out. And I'm gonna be back with the conversation tomorrow, definitely. Hopefully y'all enjoyed your evenings and continue to enjoy your evenings. Hey, I'll see y'all afterwards. Relax my mind so I can be free. Don't sound and keep it round. Doing my thing constantly with no worries. Just to keep growing. Just like you. Growing so don't worry what happens out there. It's not my concern. You wanna die, it's not my turn. You do something to me like jumping up a stage on the highway. Doing over 80 without music. Just like you. My homie on the phone like this. Wow, that got me in the zone. You just got feeling, got me. I wish music could adopt me. Just like you. I got just like you. Put me in the mood with my woman. Got me in the air, saying sweet nothing. Make love about the mouth. No fussing, like all of a sudden. Just like you. Away the worries and cares, any problems. Right there, in the back, yo, we perfect pair. Got you more than she's the famous, my soul snatcher, universal language. If we the light, so open up. What the fuck? One flight show, you have like right vibe of one room. No competition, party all night, just the sensation. Just like you. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know, it's time for me to get going, son. Appreciate y'all all for rocking out. Appreciate the conversation. I'll be back tomorrow with it. Just like Jada. Should have been. But I appreciate every last one of y'all. And let me get myself up out of here. If y'all was new to the channel, first things first. Let me again say this. Appreciate everybody that's been a part of the build, still becoming a part of the build. Yes, we still got great conversations and still got great content. Let me get myself up out of here. I think I've held y'all long enough. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance today, you already know that love is love and they'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. That's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real builds. Hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of your evenings. I see some of y'all running around these streets. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.